What is going on, YouTubeverse? John Stanek from Johnny Radio here, bringing you another tier list. And on this special Pink Floyd week here at Johnny Radio, in celebration of the 50th anniversary of one of the greatest records of all time, Dark Side of the Moon, right here on my wall of perfect albums. I am doing my Pink Floyd tier list, and hopefully I'm going to try and make this quick because it's I always, you forget they had 15 albums to their name. Yeah, just crazy. And out of all those, I don't know, I might make some people upset with this tier list. We'll have to see, but this is my opinion, guys. So let's not waste any time. Let's get right to it. I'm sharing my screen right now, and let's get started. So the very first album from 1967, The Piper at the Gates of Dawn. A lot of people love this record. I don't love it. I think it's a C. I think they kind of took a little while to grow into themselves. And if I'm being honest, I don't think I'm that big of a Syd Barrett Pink Floyd fan. Honestly, I think they really started coming into their own when Gilmour came aboard, and I mean that's really kind of hard to argue because just popularity wise, it took them a little while to get there. And the same can be said for A Saucer Full of Secrets. I also put this in the C range. A lot of interesting songs on these two albums: Interstellar Overdrive, Set the Controls for the Heart of the Sun. But, prog rock kind of before it was, even people even knew what prog rock was, but it's just, a lot of it just feels very meandering and strange and not tuneful. So, on that note, the next album that a lot of people forget exists is a soundtrack called More. And I actually am going to put this in the D range. It's talk about meandering and not that great. Maybe if I saw the movie and saw how the music went along with it, I'd have a different feeling for it. But just listening to the album, it's almost pretty pointless, honestly. And sadly, even though I believe Gilmour is in the picture here on Amagama, that's another album that, just does not do it for me. There's so many just weird songs on here that some of them go on forever and don't seem to have a point to them whatsoever. So, yeah. And I'm going to pose a question with this tier list, which is, would another Pink Floyd phenomenon happen in today's climate of the music industry? And I don't know, it's hard to say because I mean, 4 albums in, and this is based on my rankings, but if you've got 2 C's and 2 D's, most record companies are not going to back your 5th record, let alone, your 2nd or 3rd. So sure, there's plenty of indie rockers, King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, for example, that are 20 albums in on their own accord. But, they haven't quite had a dark side yet either. So there's a lot of different questions beyond that question. So I'd love to open that discussion in the comments if you're willing to go there. It seems like I could do a whole video on that topic alone, but just thought I would pose that. So that brings us to Adam Hart Mother, and it's here, even though I'm still going to put this is more like a C+ for me. This is showing that they're headed in the right direction, in my opinion, especially the title opening track with what happens with the main theme with the horns. It shows that they're getting a little bit more, I guess tuneful would be the word. And even though it's still very odd and proggy, they're getting towards what we love. And so finally, by album number 6, Metal from 1971, this I'm putting, they're jumping to an A here. I mean, just for the closing track, Echoes alone, 23+ minute epic masterpiece of a song. It's just phenomenal, but also, so many other great songs, even though it's only a 6-song record. Fearless is on here. Just so much greatness. It feels like, man, and that also, to go with my original question, it's like, it's sad that a lot of record companies don't get behind bands that are 6 albums in and just trying to figure themselves out, because who knows, their 6th and 7th album could be freaking amazing, So yeah, on that note, where are we now? Oh, yes. Oh, another one that people often forget about, Obscured by Clouds, comes in between Metal and Dark Side. And this is another soundtrack. And this one I like definitely more than More. I don't love it, but it's not bad. It's actually pleasant to listen to, and you can kind of still hear the seedlings of the kind of things that you hear on Metal and things that you're going to hear on the next album, which, let's all just go ahead and put Dark Side up in the S tier. I mean, come on, man. Just one of the greatest albums of all time. What else can you say about it? I'll be talking a bit more about this record on Friday when I do my top 5 songs of the record, but there's not a weak track on that album. Just absolutely amazing and deserves all the recognition it gets. And 50 years, my God, how incredible. If that's all they did with their career, they'd be just amazing. But then they went on to do Wish You Were Here, which I'm also going to put in the S range. Man, come on. Shine On You Crazy Diamond, Wish You Were Here, Have a Cigar, Welcome to the Machine. Every single song on here you still hear on rock radio today, and it never gets old. It's right up there with Dark Side. It's just a masterpiece and such a love letter to Syd Barrett. It's just it's wonderful. So yeah, we're now that we're in the 70s, guys, things are moving along here. So that brings us to Animals, and that's going to be my first B. I mean, I think Animals is great, musically. They do some amazing things on songs like Dogs and Sheep, and Gilmore is great vocally on here, and of course the whole idea of using Animal Pig Farm as the template. Waters, just at the top of his game lyrically, just like he was on Dark Side and Wish You Were Here, but it's not one that I just come back to that often, and for that reason, I put it as a B. So sorry to those who love it as much as some of the others, but The Wall, on the other hand, I am going to put in the A range, even though it's a bit long and bloated, and sometimes some of the songs, especially toward the end of the album, don't even necessarily fit in with the narrative. It's just one of the best concept albums ever, following this guy named Pink through his life, and so many hits, Comfortably Numb, Another Brick in the Wall. Again, like, if this was their only record, they'd still be held in high regard just for this. So unfortunately, this would kind of be the end of their reign in the 70s. This came out in 79. And then as Waters kind of took the reins of leadership and started cutting others out of things, which is evident on the final cut. I'm putting the final cut in the C range, unfortunately. And then from here, Pink Floyd, tensions rose and Waters is no longer in the picture. And with that being said, the fact that Momentary Lapse of Reason is still a fairly solid album is pretty impressive, but I'm going to put it in the C range. Same thing for The Division Bell, and same thing for Endless River. I just I don't have a lot to say about those records, because to me, Pink Floyd kind of wasn't itself anymore without Waters, as much as he is a very divisive figure in general, and there still all these crazy fights going on between them to this day. It just wasn't quite the same without him. So Obviously, to me, my favorite Pink Floyd era is the 70s. You could see that from this list. A lot of C's here. So I think I'm going to be upsetting a lot of diehard fans, but this is just my opinion, man, as the dude would say. And yeah, so let me know in the comments below what you think. I'd love to hear it. And guys, please stay tuned for Top 5 Friday for the 50th anniversary of Dark Side of the Moon. I'll be doing my top 5 songs of that album. And yeah, gotta love Pink Floyd, man, forever. If not just for those 5 albums in the B to S tier, just incredible. But it just goes to show you again, out of 15 albums, not all of them are always winners. And that goes for most bands. You know, there's not that many bands that have had like a perfect trajectory like the Beatles did. You know, even Zeppelin had some that were down in the C range, as you've seen some of my other tier lists. But Pink Floyd still, to me, is, you know, one of the top 10 bands of all time, maybe even top 5 if I had to, you know, come down to it. But yeah, guys, so thanks for watching. And we got so much more here on the channel. We're always discovering and rediscovering great music. Thank you for watching. And as always, Viva La Vinyl. So guys, thanks so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and be sure to ring the bell for notifications so you can always see great quality content like you're seeing on the screen right now. Thank you so much for supporting Johnny Radio, and I'll see you soon.